Ladies and gentlemen, Hsfearless hosted an interview with Jay Varman, the head game designer for Hypixel Skyblock, and in this interview we got a ton of information about what the future may hold. My name is Derailious, welcome back to Skyblock News, and let's launch right into it. Starting off here, when referring to updates, we got a bunch of information about the Foraging update, the Rift, the Crimson Isle updates that they want to expand on, the Garden, and also some stuff with Slayer and any future dungeons. Starting with Foraging, there will be new types of trees, and with max gear, the money per hour rate will be comparable to mining and potentially even to farming. There will also be custom builds, similar to mining's Heart of the Mountain, although Jay Varman did specify that it will not be the exact same system, so we might see some sort of changes there. The Rift will have some fun content that is not focused around grinding, probably some sort of repeatable minigame. People were saying it was going to be a roguelike. I think that that's very likely, especially considering that it had a sort of Rift time aspect to it, meaning that you had to spend a certain amount of time in there. And it will also have the best item in the necklace slot in the game. This is likely going to be the Rift necklace, which you can see on screen now, has pretty high health stats, has a decent amount of strength, and it will probably also get some attributes which the admin stated they wanted to change a little bit. The Crimson Isle will eventually be getting some updates, but they want to expand on stuff that's already been added, and potentially make some changes to some soulbound items. For the Garden, the Spaceman will give you a blank space helmet, aka no addition numbers. This is essentially meaning that the Doctor's space helmet will no longer be, well, Doctor's space helmet. That's already been changed, but they're going to further change it. Now all the old ones will be recognizable with their addition numbers, but you can get your hands on one. And at some point they want it to make you more money, and especially for Iron Man players, they want to maybe look at increasing the NPC sell price of some of the items. As well, Garden milestones will see some balance. The admin stated that they wanted nothing in the game to be incompletable anymore, so they're likely to be looking at that, and also looking at things like Bestiary. In terms of Slayer, they state that there are no plans for any new Tier 5 Slayers yet, although if Minikloon, who is the guy who focuses on that, decides to pick it up, it might happen. There is a new dungeon type being designed, however no development has taken place yet. This means that in all likelihood, it's probably a year or further off. 1.0 is aimed to be fully released within 2 years, hopefully sooner than that. The admin stated that he would be very happy if it released sooner than that. He likes setting up these optimistic timetables in his head, but don't be that surprised if it takes the full 2 years. There will be no progression resets. Everything you have now will carry over into 1.0. You don't have to worry about that. That is just a community rumor that people thought was going to happen. No chance, he said. In terms of some other stuff, we have a maybe adding the RNG meter to the experiment table. Updating to a higher Minecraft version is not impossible, and there are no plans for any EU servers because of some issues that are basically server-wide. Essentially, there are no transfer packets in Java Edition. There are in Bedrock, but not in Java. If they were added to Java, then maybe they could start adding those 1.16 features and also get some EU servers set up. Devon's Alloy's global drop rate may not stay in the game forever, and they may instead add an RNG meter for it, so it becomes more of an individual thing, and so Iron Man players can struggle a little bit less. The dungeon's RNG meter not resetting is a bug and will be fixed soon. Gemstones destroyed by bombs will regenerate soon, and drill fuel updating item lore might be worked on soon. It helps with mining with high ping. There will never be, or rather, there should never be an item that doesn't come back. We just haven't found a way to reintroduce them. That is referring to items that, were removed from the game and instead need to be re-added. So they're looking at ways to potentially re-add those items. A few unobtainable museum items are going to be removed pretty soon. They're going to be working on unsoulbinding certain items, like general Crimson Isle materials, for example like magma chunks. And there are no plans right now, but Cookie Clicker might see an update. And obviously Bestiary will be made more possible. Now obviously that is a ton of information, but the admin stated all of that in their interview, and that is the basis of this video. I think a lot of this information is really good to hear. I've been looking for a state of the game type of thing, and this was about as close as we're gonna get. Really excited to see what they come out with next. The Rift seems pretty interesting. The Rift necklace looks cool. Obviously, it's going to be the best necklace in the game, so there'll be something to go for, and it won't be super related to grinding. I thought it was interesting that they stated that they wanted every single thing in this game to be theoretically completable if you spent enough time to do it. Obviously, for things like bestiary, that is technically possible, but they don't find it feasible in the slightest, so they might make some changes or revamps to it, which I think is really, really cool. They also commented a little bit on the garden there, because obviously if you wanted to fully max out, get tier 46 of every single crop, it'd be absurd. It'd be a comical amount of time wasted, spent, whatever you want to say, and it would just not be fun. So they do want to make some changes to that. The direction looks great. Changing Divans or to actually be droppable with an RNG meter, awesome stuff. I really like the concept of them focusing more on those types of things. At the end of the day, though, my name is Derailious. Leave your comments down below about what you think. Look to the future, fellas, and I will see you then. Also, thank you to Hsfearless, obviously, for hosting this interview. You did an amazing job, man.